The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, my name is Julie Profit and welcome to the Invite a Customer Premium webinar. I'm with CompuSystems and we are the official registration and lead retrieval provider for the Motivation Show. And today what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through our tool called Invite a Customer Premium. And this is a tool that will allow you to send email blasts to your customers and invite them to the Motivation Show. So you can show them all your new products and whatnot. The great thing about this tool is that it's free for you guys to use. So hopefully after the demonstration today, you'll feel comfortable with it and you will start using it. Alrighty, today's webinar should last probably about 25 to 30 minutes. I'm going to walk you through the system. I won't be able to go into a ton of detail because there's a lot to show and I want to make sure I keep it somewhat brief because I don't want to keep you guys on the phone forever because I know you're all very busy people. Also, at the very end, we'll have some time for questions and answers. You guys are all muted right now, so I won't be able to hear you, but what you can do is you can ask questions. In this webinar tool, there's a little question area. Feel free to type in your question, and even while I'm doing the demo, feel free to type in your question because you may think of something that you don't want to forget. Type it in. I won't answer it right away, but I'll save it till the very end, and then I'll go through and answer all the questions that you guys have asked. Alrighty, so let's just get started. What you'll do in order to access the Invite a Customer Premium application is you need to go through the exhibitor registration website. And that's the screen that you should see right now. This is the welcome page of the website. And how you access the registration site is you can go to the Motivation Show website, and then there are links there. And then you can progress to the exhibitor registration site. Here's the welcome page. What you need in order to enter this page is your company ID and password. You should already have received this information. The exhibitor key contact who signed up for the booth should have received that information. If you don't have it, you can contact Peggy Hatfield at the Motivation Show, and she can share that information with you. Alrighty, so let's get started. I am going to enter my password, my exhibitor name. Oops, case sensitive. And let me enter my password. Alrighty, and now I'm logging into the site. All right, we are now into the Red site, and as you can see here, there's quite a few different things that you can do when you access the registration site. You can add new booth staff, so you can register your booth staff. You can order lead retrieval, but today what we're going to focus on is the actual Invite a Customer Premium tool. So let's click on this icon right here and go into the system. Here we are. This is what I call the home page of the Invite a Customer tool. And there's quite a few things that you can do here. I will give you a brief overview of this page, but first I want to point out at the top of the page, once you've finished using the Invite a Customer tool, you can always go back to that registration area, the previous page where we were, and you can register your booth staff or do the many other things that system allows you to do. So it's easy access back there. Alrighty, this page I'm going to give you a brief overview. Over here on the left-hand side is the navigation area. So this area over here will get you everywhere you need to go into the system. If you want to look at your list, you just click on that button. It expands. You can view your latest list, view all lists. You can look at reports. And there's a help, and there's also a setup section. I'll go into the setup section in a little bit. But right now I want to show you the help area. So I'm going to click on the help. And this is the FAQ page, the frequently asked questions. This will hopefully answer a lot of the questions you may have. What I highly recommend is before you even actually use and send out an email blast is to go to the FAQ page first. Look over the questions, and then what you do is you just click on a question, it will expand the answer, and then you can familiarize yourself with the tool before you actually use it. So again, I recommend checking this out before you actually start using it. Over on the right-hand side here, there's also some tutorials. So today I'm giving you a demonstration, but let's say you don't use the tool until next week and you may have forgotten a couple things. What you can do is you can view a QuickTime or a Flash tutorial. These are pretty brief, so you can watch these. I think they're probably about 4 minutes or even less, and it kind of quickly runs through the system for you. Also here on the very bottom, here's an important section that you can check out. If you have some questions about using the tool, so let's say you're using the tool and you have some questions, what you can do is call us up and we'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. An exhibitor services representative will help you out. So here's that 708 number at the bottom. So again, check out the help area, and if you find that you're stuck somewhere. Okay, let's go back to that home page, which in order to do that, you just click on Invite a Customer over there. And again, here's just an overview. You will create some email blasts, and you can upload lists. The list that you upload can either be a CSV file or a tab delimited. You can also free enter in information and email addresses, but that's if you're going to send a small list, and I'll show you how to do that really quickly. And finally, at the very bottom, you can view reports. But let's just get started. All right, let's create a new email blast. Here we go. Now, you can see this page. It has 5 different steps on it. So this is actually, there's just 5 simple steps, and you can complete and send out an email blast. The first step is to select a template. We have 3 different templates from which to choose, and 3 different templates that you can customize. Now we have them titled, and these are just sample titles for us. These will not show up in your email blast, but we have an invitation blast, a product showcase, and a reminder. Now, one thing I want to mention is that you don't have to use these in this order. So let's say you want to just send a product showcase email blast. You can do that. You don't necessarily have to do an invitation, product showcase, and then reminder. But I do recommend doing kind of an email campaign, and you can send a blast to maybe some segment of your buying list, and you can tweak your message to an audience. And so you really can do a marketing campaign if you'd like. So feel free to use whatever templates. You can use all of them. You can use a couple. And you can also send out as many email blasts as you'd like. There's really no limit on that. But I do recommend not sending out way too many because you really don't want to inundate your audience. All right, I'm just going to start with the invitation blast. So let's select it, and let's move along. All right, here is the template. You'll see that there's an area up here, kind of near the top and around the sides, that looks a little grayed out. These are the uneditable areas. You cannot edit this section. The section that you can edit are the boxes that have the red border around them. So there's 5 areas here that you can edit. And I'll show you how to edit those in 1 second. But before I do that, I want to point out here in this uneditable area, there's a Register Now button. So that will be part of the email that you send out. And that will have a customized link that will let the person who you sent the email blast to, it will let them go directly to the registration site of the Motivation Show and register. Embedded in that link will be your specific company code for tracking purposes. So when you send out an email blast, so let's say you send out an email blast to CompuSystems, and your company code will be embedded in that link, so you'll be able to track who actually registered from receiving your blast. So it's kind of nice. So that's already taken care of for you, and hence it's in the uneditable section. All right, let's go through and just edit something. In order to do that, you just click on the box. It pops up a window, and you'll see here we've put in some verbiage. These are kind of prompts for you to kind of give you an idea of what you want to add in your blast. And certainly one thing you want to add in your blast is your booth number. So I'm going to do that because you want people to know where you're going. Okay, so I'm editing that. I'm hitting save, and I'm moving on. Okay, I'm going to click on this particular box. This is the box where we're suggesting you put some company information. So we put some prompts in here which you want to delete. You want to make sure you don't send out this information because it has nothing to do with your company. You want to make sure it's customized for your particular company. So I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to add my own company information. What I suggest doing is already having some verbiage created. So I already have some verbiage created. So I'm going to get that now, and I am going to paste it in here. Now, if you're someone that can actually create verbiage on the fly, that's great. I commend you. I unfortunately am not. So I added some company information. I'm going to delete this section again. Make sure you delete our little prompts because you don't want those to appear. At the top of the area, at the top of this box, are many different things that you can use to customize your message. So let's say you want to bold some information. You highlight it, you select bold. Now, if some of these little icons here, you're not sure what they mean, all you do is put your mouse on it, and then you will get a mouse over tooltip, which will tell you exactly what it is. Okay, so I can proceed on. I'm just going to keep moving along here. I'm going to save this. Okay, this box I'm not going to edit for you, but obviously it would be something you'd want to edit. We put some prompts in here to suggest what you want to put in this box, and basically we're saying who you're invited by. So when you do your blast, go in here and put in your information. I'm not going to do that to save time, so I can move along. But what I do want to show you how to do is I want to definitely show you how to insert an image. So I'm going to click on this box. We already have a sample image in here, and this image is giving you some helpful suggestions of the maximum height and the maximum width of the image that you upload. You don't want to upload too large of an image. First of all, it will distort your email that you send out, and also the bigger the file that you upload, it will just take longer for it to display in an image catalog, which I'm going to show you in a second. So these are some recommended sizes for you. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this. We certainly don't want that to appear in the email blast that I send out. And I'm going to insert an image. Now, the image icons that we want to focus on are, and in order to insert an image, it's these guys over here. It's on the lower column here, the lower row rather, on the far right-hand side. These both are related to images. We have the image catalog, and then we have the upload an image. First, I'm going to show you the image catalog, so let's click in there. This basically is a list of, or it's displaying all the images that I have uploaded, so that my company has uploaded, are going to display here. This is, once you've uploaded an image, you will then be able to go into this image catalog and see all the different images that you've uploaded. So you can see I've uploaded quite a few. Now, the images that I've uploaded will be images that you guys won't be able to see, so these are specific to each company. So don't worry, if you upload images, other companies will not be able to access the images that you upload. But what is standard, and which is in the default system of Invite a Customer, are some images such as Facebook, Google, LinkedIn. It's the images that actually look pixelated, that don't look so great. These are part of the default. So those will be there the first time you enter the image catalog. Now I'm going to show you, even though these look pixelated and not so great, I'm going to select one. And as you can see, it actually does look fine. They just happen to be very, very small images, and when they're in the image catalog, they are expanded, so they look pixelated. But when you add them to, I'm getting kind of a weird message on my computer. Okay. All right, sorry about that. All right, so anyway, this image here, this little Twitter icon, it looks fine. I'm not going to put it in my blast, so I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to go in and show you how to upload an image. So that's the right-hand little image icon. I click on that, and it's the image uploader. This is going to walk me through. So first, I want to locate my file. So now let's go in, and I am going to find the image that I want to upload. So I'm looking at my computer, and I am going to upload a logo. Alrighty. So I grab the file, I hit next, and I then get a success message. So it was successfully imported. I'm going to close out of that window. Now it's not showing up. So you may wonder, okay, I just uploaded an image. How come it is not appearing in my little field here? Well, that's because you need to go back to the image catalog. So you click on the image catalog, and then you will be able to see the image that you uploaded. I actually just uploaded this image right here. Voila. Okay, so you click on the image that you want, and it will then be put in the template. Now, what you can do is you can resize the image. So let's say you want to make this image a little bit smaller. What you do is you click on the image, and then you'll see kind of these anchors. What you want to do when you want to resize something, grab one of the corner anchors, and then just pull it in a little bit, and it makes it a bit smaller. And it will also resize the image uniformly. Now, if you grab one of these side little anchors, it's going to stretch the image and look distorted, and it does not look good at all. So again, just a little tip for you, make sure you grab one of the side ones. All right, so I'm actually good with that, and I'm going to hit save. Okay, so I have, for now, just so we can move along, because time is flying by already, I'm going to say that right now I am done. So I'm going to hit next. And then now it's taking me to step 3, which is setup. The setup area is where you're going to write some details of what is going the customer may see. Now the email name, oh, first, I don't think I pointed this out yet. When you see question marks throughout the system, these are tooltips. You just put your mouse on it, and it will give you some helpful suggestions on what you can do in that particular section of the application. So right now, I need to enter an email name. The email name will not appear to the people that you send the invitation to. This is for your internal purposes. So you want to name this email. I'm going to name it, and you want to name it something that will make sense to you, because if you want to look at the reports later about the success of your blast, make sure you name it something that will make sense. So I'm just going to name this webinar Thursday number, let's see, Thursday number 2. Okay. And now the subject line, we want to, now the customer, the people that you send your blast to will actually see the subject line. This will be the subject line of the email. So you want to make sure you, you name it something quite nice. And let's see, let's include the motivation show in here as well so they kind of know what it's about. So let's say, come visit. Okay, I'm having problems typing today. Okay, all right. So I've named it the subject line. Down here is the tracking code. Now I had mentioned previously in that register button that appears in the email blast that's sent out, there's that code that's specific to your company. This is the code I'm talking about. It's a tracking code. Now this code will already be created for your company. It's unique to your company. You don't need to create it yourself. It will already be there. So when you come to this page, you'll already see a code. So here's my code for my company. You'll have a different one. So you don't really need to worry about it. I'm clicking in here. It's not letting me do anything. So again, it's already set up for you. Now I need to put the return email address that the email blast will be sent from. So this is my name. I'm going to keep it as it is, but you guys, again, can make sure you put in any name you'd like so that people, your customers, will see who it's from. Here's the from email address. That's good. Okay. Down here is the company's address. This is the address that we have in file for your company, but you can edit this if you'd like, so feel free. Okay, I'm now done with this page. I'm going to continue on. So I'm moving on to step 4. Now this is where I'm going to upload a list, or I can select one of the existing lists that I already uploaded. So once you've uploaded a list, you can always use that list later on down the road. You don't have to continually upload the same list. So here's a bunch of lists that have already been uploaded, but I'm going to show you how to upload a list. So I'm not going to use one of these. So when I want to upload a list, I select this button, Upload a New List. If I do want to just send a blast to a few people, I can actually, I'm going to click on this button, Enter Email Addresses. I could actually enter email addresses one by one, but this would be for a very small list. And then you just kind of do it by free text here, as you can see here. I'm not going to do this for you to save time, but I think you get the gist. I'm going to cancel that out, but I'm going to show you how to upload a list. Okay. Now, you have to agree to this user agreement, so please read it and then agree. And then move on, hit the next button. Okay, we now have another wizard that will walk you through. Okay, we need to name this list. So I am going to name this list. I'm actually just going to name this today's date. And, okay, and then the description is webinar list. Okay, this is not very descriptive, but you probably would want to do something a little bit more descriptive. Okay, what file format am I going to upload? Is it a CSV file or tab delimited? I'm selecting CSV. And now let's just locate my file. And here it is. Okay, I hit next. Oops. Okay, guess what? It's telling me that the list name can't contain any special characters. So the dashes that I did is actually a special character. So let's just do this. All right. And let's hit next. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to map the fields from the list that you just uploaded. The list that I uploaded was a very simple list. It just had one column and it just contained email address. Now you can upload a list that has first name, last name, title, company, if you'd like. I just wanted to do a very simple list, so I'm just going to map this. So what you do is you go to the right-hand area here, right-hand side, go to the drop-down, so email address, I needed to map it with the list in my file. And now let's say you did include the company name. You would just then map it to your company name, but I didn't do that, so I'm just going to move on. Now we need to confirm the fields. So let's look here. Okay, there's the list name. My record, the list that I uploaded only has 4 records in it, which is true. I have a very, very small list. And we have the mapping correct. Great, I can move on. I hit the next button. Okay, so now it's just uploading the list into our system. It may take just a couple seconds to do this. And then it's successful. It's telling me that it's been uploaded, so that's awesome. Now we have a couple buttons here. One button says send email to more than one list, so I could. So I uploaded this list. I could send it to another list if I'd like. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to send this blast to the list that I uploaded. So I select the second button there. And now we are on step 5. We are on the final step, so we're just zipping along. Okay, what we can do here is this allows us to look at the blast. Now, one thing I want to point out, this image here is not exactly how the blast will appear when you send it out. You'll notice that when we were in the template making edits, like the attend the motivation show as our guest did not wrap like it's doing right now. So this is just a brief little snapshot so you can get the basic gist of what verbiage and such you included. What I recommend doing is actually sending a test. Send yourself a test. And so you can actually see how the blast appears, how it looks before you actually send it out to all your customers that you're going to send it to. But this just gives you a basic gist of how it's going to appear. And you can do some editing. So if I wanted to edit the template, if I wanted to, ooh, you know what, I added some verbiage here I didn't want to add, you just select the edit button and you can go back to the template and edit. You can change the subject line if you'd like of your email blast. So never worry that once you've gone through, steps 1 through 4, that it's set in stone. You can't make any more edits. You absolutely can make edits, and this is the page to do it. But again, send yourself a test. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to send myself a test. Hit test, and then you need to, when you send yourself a test, you can select a list that you already, a test list that you already uploaded, or you can create one from scratch. So I'm just going to do this from scratch. Okay, and then list description, test blast, and then you enter an email address. Okay, and now I'm going to send a test. So I'm sending a test to myself. Okay, so the system is processing it. It's sending it out. Voila, I get my confirmation page. It was successfully processed. Hit done. We're good. Okay, then I sent the test. Now, for time purposes, I'm not going to go in and go and open up my email and access the test. I'm just going to move along and actually send that test blast. So what happens is the page then brings you to where all of your drafts are. These are all of the email blast drafts. Now, this is my test and webinar show, so I have a bunch in here. And that's why when I suggested naming your email blast, name it something that makes sense so you can easily access it. So here's the one that I just did, and I'm going to click on it. So when you create a draft, which is exactly what I just did, now I want to actually send it. So I sent a test. And now I actually need to send it to that list that I uploaded. So it's bringing me back to the review and send page. Again, once you receive your test, let's say you see something that looks a little wonky, it doesn't look a little right, you can go back in and edit it. I'm not going to edit that for time purposes, but I now want to actually send the blast. So I would hit the Send Now button. Oh, one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that you can actually schedule a blast. You can schedule a blast to go out later in the day. You can send it to go out next week. So you can definitely schedule a blast to send out at a later date. But I want to send it now. So I hit Send Now. And it is just, this is kind of a little recap page. It's showing the name, the subject line, who it's from, the from email address. Okay, great. It has how many recipients were in my list. That is correct. And it looks great. I'm going to send it. I hit Send. The system is processing it. And voila, there we go. Okay, it was successfully processed. And that was it. I have edited the template, I've uploaded a list, and I've sent out a blast. So now I want to show you the report section. Okay, again, you can access the reports via the homepage, the Invited Customer homepage, as I'm calling it. You can view it here, or you can go over here on the little sidebar. But I'm going to do it here. So let's go and hit View Your Reports. All right. Now this is, we have been, here at CompuSystems, we've been sending out test blasts all over the place. So we have a lot of blasts that we've sent out, and mostly for webinar purposes and whatnot. But so here's a list of all of those. One thing I want to point out first is at the top here, it says number of registrations. It says 3. So for all these blasts that I've sent out as kind of a test and whatnot, 3 people have registered for the show. So you can always see how many people registered for the motivation show from the blast that you sent out. And this is where you would go. You go to this report page. You can even export this data into Excel. So I'm not going to show you how to do that. It's really simple. You just click the button, and then you can grab a list of all the people that you registered. So this is kind of a nice thing that you can always go back and see and check it out. But let's look at a particular blast. Let's look at the blast, even though I just sent it out. And let's look here. Let's look at this blast. This is the blast that I just did, but let's look at the specific reporting. It's really not going to show much because, again, I just sent it out. But when you want to look at the send performance, you just click on that button. It expands, and it shows the total number of emails that were sent out. If any of these bounced, if it was a hard bounce or a soft bounce, it would detail that information, and you can always click on this area here and export that data. So if you did get any bounces, you could get that information in Excel. Open performance. So this is all pretty easy. It shows how many people, the total count, how many unique opens there were, the percentage, and then the unique percentage. And then, again, you can export this data into Excel. So you can always continually go back in and look at the reporting. So that's kind of the reporting in a nutshell. I'm going to go back here to the main report page because, again, I want to show you one thing. Here we go, View All Reports. And, again, I want to highlight the number of registrations. So check that out so you can keep track of how many people registered. Let's go back to the Invited Customer homepage, and that's it really for the demo. So I kind of whipped through it, and let's see if we have any questions. Okay, so now some question and answers time, and let me expand this. Okay, we do have a couple questions, so let me open this up. All righty, okay. The first question I have here, it says, is there a way to customize the graphics on the top to add some of our own branding to the Motivation Show header? Okay, let me show you. So let me go back in a template. So let's go back to create a new email. And I'm going to click on, let's click on the Product Showcase one. Alrighty, so over here is, I told you, the uneditable section. So at the very top, it's the Motivation Show banner is at the top. That you cannot edit. So that's there. But if you do want to put some of your own branding, what you can do is you could take any of these editable boxes that are surrounded by red, you can go in there and you can add your own branding. So this is where you can upload your own image if you'd like. You delete this guy, you upload your own image. You can add a lot of your company information if you want. So you can tailor it for your company, but again, you will see, I'm closing out that window, but this particular, the motivation header will be there. Okay, so hopefully that answered your question. I have another question. Let's see here, let me grab it. It is, okay. The question is, will we get out-of-office replies? And the answer is yes, because when you put in the, okay, let me just go there. It's just always easier for me to go there. In that setup section, you know how when you are putting in your return address for your emails, you put the name that it's going to show up, and then you put that email? That email is actually coming from you. So when you send it out, you will get some out-of-office replies. So they will be sent to you, sent to whatever email address you put in there, because it really is coming from you. So yeah, you will get those out-of-office replies. All righty, any more questions? I'm not seeing any questions right now. But again, once you start using the tool, if you find that you have some questions on it, because that's probably when a lot of the questions will come up, by all means, go to the little help section here. Scroll down the bottom, we have that number. You can always give us a call, or you can watch any of these tutorials, and then hopefully the FAQs here will be helpful as well. So I'm going to sign off, and I want to thank you all very much for joining the webinar today. And I hope you log into Invite a Customer Premium and use it. Again, it's free, so it's kind of a win-win for you guys. And I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you, and have a great day. Bye.